Scaling meta ads isn't just about blasting hundreds of dollars on ad spend and praying for the best. I can't tell you how many times I've seen real estate agents blast thousands and thousands of dollars hoping for the best when they have no systems, no operations, and no clue of what they're aiming. I'm tired of seeing this keep on happening to agents, and in today's video, we'll show you the exact systems on how you can change your whole budgeting system where you don't have to stress if you're spending too much ad spend on the wrong things. We'll show you how to completely budget each week so you know you can keep on running your ads and still see those consistent leads coming in. In today's video, you'll learn everything on how to stabilize the actual budget and when to actually operate these systems so you don't have to be second guessing on when you should follow up and when you shouldn't. How to actually implement these systems into your business so you don't have to be spending thousands of dollars on ad spend and not having a complete operation system behind your work. And before we jump into today's video, if you're really struggling with getting the lead generation in its whole and just getting stabilized clientele on the monthly basis, I don't want to have to see you guys struggle going into 2026. So if you feel like making that change, don't forget to click the link below. I'll be personally taking the first 50 calls. We'll jump into your current situation, see how we can help, and if we would even be a good fit to help you. From there, we'll show you all our services and packages and how we can change your business going to 2026. No further ado, guys, let's jump into today's video. Welcome to the first slide, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about safe budget ramp plan. So pretty much like I just mentioned, I always see agents blasting hundreds and hundreds of dollars praying for the best, and they don't see the results that they wanted just because of few simple systems. So in today's video, we'll be showing you when you should be scaling and when you shouldn't be scaling the budget and how to operate these systems behind. You don't have to be working 24 hours just to reply to all these leads. So welcome to the first slide. This is Safe Budget Ramp Plan. This is just an intro on what you will be learning today. We're trying to create a predictable outcome of what we can actually get with our ad budget. So like I mentioned in many videos before, I always recommend $50 a day for your campaign has been the best I've seen so far. We tested everywhere from $500 a day, from $10 a day, and we tried everything in the middle, and $50 a day has been the best ROI, return on investment, we've seen so far. So if you look here on the right, this guy's paying 500 bucks daily cap. That's still amazing. Of course, the more you spend, doesn't always mean you're going to get better quality or quantity. But before we go into the next slides, I just want to do a quick warning. This isn't a get rich overnight scheme. This takes time and patience. If you're just trying to blast your money and hope for the best, it's never going to work for you. Of course, we've seen in the past couple of days, agents been crushing it, but this does take time. That's why I always say minimum 6-month process, but you will get up to 25 to 30 leads with the system you have if you implement it to your business today. Scaling without disruption, you're going to have every single urge to change the budget, to change this, change the creative, the ad campaign. You're going to have every urge, but we can't because you don't want to. Right now, we're not acting like we're real estate agents. We're not acting like we're ad experts. Right now, we're just leaving it for what it is, not who we are. We're going to leave the ad campaign as what it is. I know you're going to have the urges to change it. This is an experiment, guys. We're all scientists here. We're leaving it here, experimenting. We're going to set a day. Our hypothesis is if I put this ad for this amount of time, for this amount of whatever ad spend, I'll get this outcome. You leave it for that amount of time no matter what. And after we do all this testing, review the information and iterate to see what we can do better. So whenever I say there's no emotions going with this, of course, we're spending money, there's gonna be a little emotions. And also with that, we can have the automations. So pretty much every time the lead does come in, it gets an automatic email, SMS, voice message, and phone call as soon as possible because that lead is super hot when they just send the form in. So campaign stability breakdowns. What this is what makes a good campaign in itself. Budget, of course, edit to place, creative rotations. So this is how many creatives. Whenever I do a campaign, I do minimum of 4 image ads. That's if I'm doing static. Video ads is different. You want to do as many as possible. But with this, minimum 4. And of course, just scaling on once a budget. So once you have all these pillars, it just becomes almost impossible to have a bad campaign. Of course, this is going to be a science experiment. It's going to take some time, but you're never going to end up with a terrible campaign if you have all these perfectly. So controlled scaling approach. Now we can talk about when are we actually going to scale and when we shouldn't. So if you look at the 2 images on here, you'll see that on both sides, 3 crucial parts you need when scaling your budget. You're going to need the information, of course. Look at the chart. Facebook's really good at providing this, but you also do want to have another Google Sheet doc. Then you need to stretch and you need to safeguard. Once you have these 3 in check, that's like your checklist to see if you're able to scale or not with this ad campaign. Also here on the right, you can see the control window, everything that you'll see on Facebook Ad Manager. Pretty much what this is what I like to do is if I have an ad spend of, let's say $50 a day, and one of my ads has spent $100 and I got 0 clients, 0 leads, anything booked with this campaign, I know that's Facebook telling me that this ad is terrible. It's not working in the market today. Maybe it'll work in the future. Maybe it's worked in the past, but not right now at this moment. That's when I know to take down that campaign and start up something new. Once you spend double your ad spend, that's just Facebook telling you that it's not working. So that's really crucial to understand these things. You don't want to keep on spending money on something that isn't working when it could be going to something that is really working that could get you double the clients. So control window. So this is when we actually know how much we should be adding. So if you look for here, the cost per lead, let's say it's 15% of what our ad spend is. That's pretty good, but not what we want to see as much. We also want to get to a lower ad spend, of course. If we're getting more appointments, you want to optimize by 10%. So every appointment we get, you want to add 10% on that cash. So let's say if it's $50, you're going to add another $5. Then, of course, when you do get the daily leads, you want to up by 20% because that's just making sure that's Facebook telling us that the ad is actually working. So scale and rotation strategy. So what this is actual strategy we use here at Moissanite Agency to really up your deal flow. So what it is first is the frequency. We're going to have to be consistent with this, have it up for minimum, I say, when you're running an ad campaign until it doubles the ad, but you also want to just keep it as long as running as possible. It's experiments. Then the CTR drop. So once that drops, then we know it's not good. Take that off. The cost per lead. If it's high, it's not doing good. If it's low, we're doing well, but we also want to do that CTR drop. And then lifetime budget scheduling. I personally don't schedule a budget for this or that because I look at that as every day 24/7 while they're running. You can set a budget, but what I like to say is, let's say you have it set up for a week, a budget, you're spending $50 a day. Let's say on those 6 days, nothing happened, you've just been blasting money, but on that 7th day, you've had a hot streak. You've been getting so many booked appointments, booked clients, everything's been so perfect, but because you added that scheduling, it canceled on the 8th day and you haven't seen any success after that. That's why I hate setting a timeline on this. I like boosting as much as I can, but I also like to follow Facebook's rules when they do tell me the ad isn't working. Automated spend safeguards. So what this is yes, I mentioned automations in the past. Me personally, I use the CRM Go High Level. That's been the best CRM for me so far. Just sending out quick automations with email, SMS, and voice message. And our ISA team here calls it the leads as soon as possible. So of course you want to have the log of what's coming in on a daily basis. Also your spend cap. These are just AI images, but it looks different on Facebook Ads Manager. We will dive into that in a later date. This is good numbers, but you also want to keep track of everything. But Facebook's really good at keeping track of that, even with your Go High Level account if you do sign with Moissanite Agency. Continue on the KPIs. So what this is just key performance indicators. This is how we keep track on what's working and what's not, because we have no metrics, nothing. We wouldn't know if this is working or not. So this just shows the cost per lead, pretty much your CTR rates, our show up rate, everything that's happened in the middle. If you click the document below, you'll see a whole checklist on what you need to do going up into this 30-day program. If you click the document below, you'll see what you need to do and have the whole complete checklist. So just follow those steps. I'm just explaining briefly on what you need to learn, but the real knowledge is down in that document. So tools and actions you can actually do today. So like I said, start running the ads. That you should have done this already if you're following step by step on the course. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I would say making sure your automation, everything, maybe to the emails, to the booking links, to the SMSs, and call as soon as possible, as I mentioned many times before. If you can do that with content as well, making sure everything's automated just to make sure every lead that comes in from every platform gets sent as immediately as possible. So now we're coming up on our last slide. Below, you'll have the exact steps on what you need to do to implement to your business today. Follow each step every single day, making sure your budget and scaling is on the right track. From there, you'll learn what you need to do and what to iterate. But the real goal here is just to get metrics to see what's working in your market and what isn't. If you really are struggling with your meta ads, don't hesitate to click the link below. I'll be personally taking the first 50 calls. We'll dive into your current situation, see how we can help your business succeed going into 2026, and really just help you get those consistent 3 to 4 deals on a monthly basis. No further ado, guys. I'll see you in next week's video and have a great rest of your day.